these guidelines are here, I can hide the boxes. And if I choose to, I can go View. And again, under Show, I can hide the guides. Under View, under Show, I can show the guides. So if you want them to go away later, they're just bothering you, you can do that. Just as a quick aside, I have on my channel isn't this not my channel? I have on my channel here in the videos section, you can look a really similar tutorial to the one I'm doing here that I did in Illustrator. So I wanted you to see that's here, and essentially I want to think about and how to think about the content. Okay. I just wanted to get you ready for the movement. This week you'll want to really try to finish your, so you can watch the same thing in branding assignment in Illustrator if you need to or want
try.
to. But I'm going to do
don't complete it by next week.
layout.
You'll still have time, of course.
All right, so
but try to get it at least
to Photoshop.
Thumbs up.
Fact, I'm going to close
doing pretty good job.
And back into Photoshop. So the first thing I want in this layout are a couple of buttons up at the upper right that might say like Learn More or Contact or the hamburger menu or the sandwich menu that you might see. So if I did turn on the boxes and I should be able to click and then hold the Shift key down and click again. Now I've let go of all the keys, pressing the Option key, and I'll move. Oh, they're all selected, so sad. All right, that's just weird. Okay, is this the one I want? Yep. So I want these two. Those are the two that are selected. Option key, they're all selecting. Why? They should not be doing that. Yeah, I guess. I don't want them to do that though. Nope, now it's working fine. I turned off auto select. And I'm going to undo again. Auto select is off. Option, click, and drag. I have one of these. You know what? That's great. I'm now going to turn off all the others. I only want this one on. And I just wanted to save some time, not have to draw that exact same box again. And I'm going to move it outside of that artboard. I mean, outside of that boxes folder, and collapse this again. Lastly, I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to turn it gray. So this represents 1/12th unit of my layout, and it's now in its own layer. This is what I'm going to use to make all the rest of the things in the entire layout. So by moving it up, it can represent one menu item. And then Option, click and drag. Now I have two menu items. They are touching right now. You might choose to make them ever so slightly smaller, but I will come back to that part in a moment. So these are going to be two menu items. If I did make them smaller, it might be a good idea to hold the Shift key down and make them both smaller, Command T. And I'm going to move them just both over a little bit. Go back to the Move tool, and yes, I'm going to apply this change, because if you're looking on screen, what I'm going to show you is I'm just going to nudge this over with the arrow keys on my keyboard so that there's a little tiny bit of margin on either side of the guideline. It's subtle. It may not be this fluid for you to do it the first time you're doing it. But they're inside the guides instead of touching exactly up against the guides. Next thing I want to put in my layout is an area where a slider or an image is going to be. Your layout is likely different than this one. But again, I could just use the rectangle tool, and it's filled with gray. I could change the gray color at this point if I want to. I'll choose a different gray. Deselect this guy. Go back to the shape tool, and I'll draw a box that goes from edge to edge for my slider area. Something like this. If I want this to be a different color, now is a good time to change it. Change it down here. Make it a little lighter. Did not change. Let's try it again. There we go. Huh. Does not want to change. There we go. And maybe just for the fun of it, want to add in something that indicates that there's going to be movement here. So locating the center of the layout would be a good idea because, well, I want to center some dots that I'm going to use for a slider here. So first thing is I am ready to make another group. If you're looking on screen, please, I'm going to have a new group started. So I have the boxes group, and now I have these 4 elements, which are the beginning of the layout, bottom layer of the layout. So on the bottom layer of the layout, I'm going to create a new folder or group out of that, and I'm going to call this BKG, background of the layout, L-A-O-U-T, background layout. Chiefly because, again, if you're still watching on screen, I want to start